What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Trucking News. Tonight we've got a wide variation of stories and an eclectic set of guests. An eclectic set of guests is all I can say. So let's kick it off and get into the first story right after this. Okay, so back on August 23rd, the FMCSA published a proposed list of changes to the hours of service based on some of their own information and based on over 3,100 comments that got put into, they got sent into the FMCSA through the website that some of us had talked about before. Now, some of the proposed changes include change to short haul hours of service, effects on adverse driving conditions when it comes to hours of service, the 30-minute break, which is ever so popular, and something else that drivers have also talked about, being able to split up your sleeper berth requirement. I think that a lot of this change comes from drivers' comments. I think that the FMCSA does take into consideration their studies and things, but I think the changes that we're seeing, or the proposed changes that we're seeing to the hours of service, are primarily based on a lot of things that drivers have said. Now, I'll share a link in the description to the story that I read from truckingnews.com, because they did publish a few of the comments that drivers had posted from different parts of the country. So if you get an opportunity, go check it out, read some of the comments of what our co-workers had to say. 3 trucks were involved in an accident on I-65 in Indiana this morning. 2 trucks were already stopped in dead stop traffic caused by an earlier accident on the highway. The third tractor, moving at a normal rate of speed, hit the back of one tractor, causing a domino effect, tangling up all 3, shredding Amazon Prime merchandise and freight everywhere. Now, as of right now, the state troopers have not stated whether or not or what caused that third tractor trailer to hit the back of the other ones, causing the domino effect and all of them to come to rest on the shoulder. The drivers were all fine. The one was taken by life flight to a local hospital. One of his dogs out of 2 that he was traveling with was taken for safekeeping, while the other one ran off into nowhere. This bothers me, and it bothers me because what does it lead you guys to think? Probably the same thing it leads me to think, and that's distracted driving. At that time in the morning, around 5:30 a.m., you should be pretty well aware of what's going on, unless you've been driving all night. Now, we all know that if someone is doing this here number, going down the road, you are asking for it. You are really, really asking for it. You got to pay attention to the road, folks, and if you see someone that isn't, get on the radio and yell at them and say, hey, can you pay attention to the freaking road? Put the phone down, something. Maybe get their attention somehow. But be aware, guys. Be aware. Don't get distracted while driving, because you could end up like this guy and getting a life flight to a local hospital. One of the things that drivers harp about all the time is waiting on customers to load and unload. Now, with this very special story, we're going to send it to our on-site reporter, Shadowolf, who is currently at a shipper's location. Okay, I don't think he was ready, but maybe next week he'll be ready. Now, moving on to something I'm sure you guys all care about, YouTube drama news. In this week's episode of YouTube Drama News, hosted by the one and only Trucker's Coach, we've got a very special interview for you guys. Check it out. Coach?
Thank you, Will. This is Jason Pope, the Truckers Coach, coming to you guys from the gazebo overlooking the pond here in Western Kentucky. And we are going to be able on YouTube News today to interview, by surprise to me, the Red Viking trucker and the Wolverine. YouTube, Red Viking trucker here. So, Red, how was you able to become an expert in every field in the trucking industry? YouTube, you're inbred. So, Red, what can you tell me about your video from 6 months ago titled, You Were Charged What to Quit Your Job? And then compare it to the contract that you promoted at U.S. carriers with the fines and the charges that drivers were charged, company drivers, which were misclassified as contractors. Don't you think that's a little hypocritical? YouTube, your wives like to watch me stroke my Viking locks. Okay, Red, next question. Do you think leasing your truck from LRM leasing and going to Carolina Logistics makes you look like you're winning, even though you've only been in the industry for 2.5 years, and basically telling folks that this is the next step and this is what they should do as new drivers, getting into the industry and comparing yourself to, say, myself? I'm a loser because I got into being an owner-operator 8.5 years after being in the industry. Can you explain that by chance? YouTube, all you evil Lil Dawg click followers are all racist. And you just want to be me because you're jealous. And Red, can you explain why you turn off the comments on your live feeds and don't answer any direct questions? Because people want to know what you're thinking, and for you to answer that on the fly and not have a phone a friend or whatnot. Can you explain that to us, why you're turning off those comments? YouTube, you're all broke and behind on truck payments, i.e. 28, the inbred empire. YouTube. And lastly, Red, can you explain how you can say that freight rates currently in this market are high? Can you, going off of the last video that you made, can you explain your reference as to how you feel rates are high currently right now? As I stroke the Viking locks, YouTube, you're all racist. And Wolverine, do you have anything that you can add to this, maybe about riding with Red Viking trucker, or any other insight about teaming with Red, maybe his attitude? Do you think he's a narcissist? Any of those things. Can you add anything to this interview? Shut the fuck up! You ain't saying nothing. YouTube! And the Viking is here to promote its new affiliation with Trucker District. The Viking and the District. YouTube! All right, Red, whatever, dude. Hey, Wolverine, are you okay? Back to you, Will.
Appreciate the interview, Coach. As always, YouTube will never be the same. Guys, for more information, for free advice from the coach, check out the link in the description to his channel. Make sure that you're subscribed and you ring the bell so you can see when he goes live and does his 100% free coaching calls. Protecting yourself while out on the road is a very big deal. I did a video earlier today, which you can look back on the channel, where it talks about parking and security. However, today I was in the restroom, minding my own, doing my business, when out of nowhere I was spied upon. That's right. I got spied upon in the restroom at the Petro in Kingman, Arizona. I believe this particular individual is traveling Interstate 40 frequently and spying on drivers while they're handling their business. So a word of caution to each and every one of you looking to do a number 2. For those of you that didn't know, it is the beginning of October. So without further ado, I'm going to send it over to the trucking exec for the weather report because fall is in the air.
Tried to talk me into a ride, said I wouldn't be sorry, but she was just a baby. But hey, waitress, pour me another cup of coffee, pop it down, jack me up, shoot me out.
Thanks, Will. Welcome everyone back to the Trucking Exec Weather Channel. Today's October 1st, and it's also opening day of deer archery season for those of you that didn't know. Let's get to your weather map. All right, let's take a gander at our next rad forecasting system. If you're down in Florida, it looks like Florida's dealing with some sort of impotency issue currently, so maybe stay away from there. If you're in the Northeast, up by the big lakes, Arizona, Northern California, up to Washington, check your wipers and your blinker fluid. Maybe grab an umbrella and some galoshes. Looks like you guys are probably going to need it. If you're way up here, you guys are going to have to deal with the letter H's. For those of you guys here, there, and down by the donkey show, watch out for the letter L's. For those of you guys here, but not so much here, it's going to be smooth sailing. Same for you guys over here, but not so much there, smooth sailing. Well, that's all I've really got. Happy opening day, and back to you.
Okay. Awkward way to start the weather report, but Trucking Exec, thank you very much for giving us the weather. Now for something that makes some of us want to pull our hair out. Sports. Did your team win this weekend? Mine did. But here with more on sports is our host, Ike Stevens.
This is sports, and this is unfair and unbalanced. My name is Ike Stevens, and I am sitting once again in the Buffalo, and I am happy this week. Why? Because the Cowboys won.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
The Cowboys look like 2016 all over again. Finally. They played all 4 quarters. Our offense played all 4 quarters. Dak looked great. They just let Dak loose. Let him play. Zeke played the best game of the year so far. Just looked like 2016 all over again. We are 2-2. And I say we. Okay? Again, unfair and unbalanced. 2-2. We're tied with Philadelphia in NFC East. The season's still early. We got a lot of football to go. Another nail biter with Cleveland. They lost to Oakland in overtime, but they're looking really good. Why am I talking about Cleveland? Because they are the ultimate underdogs. And, on the AFC side, I'm halfway pulling for them. That's right. I'm all about the Cowboys, all of that. I hope the Cowboys kill them. I mean, they don't play them in the regular season, so we will not see Cleveland unless they both end up in the Super Bowl, which I highly doubt that will happen. As good as the Rams are, as good as the Kansas City Chiefs are, as good as the Jaguars are, I just don't see it happening. In college football is the Red River rivalry between Texas and Oklahoma University. Boomer Sooner saw them off, okay? That's happening this week. So that's a big game in my area. Also, the Cowboys are playing the Texans, which are kind of cross-state rivals. So it's going to be a fun week in football. But, hey, that's all the sports. I'm limited on my time. We'll come at you again next week. My name is Ike Stevens. Boomer Sooner saw him off. Talk to you guys later. Back to you, Lil Dawg.
Appreciate that, Ike. And how about them Cowboys? And now for entertainment news with Truckin' Jim from Truckin' Jim's Truckin' Journey.
Thanks a lot, Lil Dawg. And this week in entertainment news and trucking, this strikes home a little personal, but two truckers, the dynamic duo driving the Texas fleet for GMP, Trucker Jim and Truckin' Elvis, aka David D. Band, had a world premiere release of a music video for one of David's very own original songs, Walk a Mile in My Shoe. If you hadn't seen the video, if Lil Dawg's not dropping a card right there, I'm sure he'll put one in the description box. But everyone, be safe out there and keep on trucking, and we'll see you next week in entertainment news and trucking.
So that's going to conclude trucking news for today. If you have a segment that you would like to see, leave a comment in the description below. Make sure that you check out the channel links for the guys that contributed this time around in the description, as well as the news stories. Guys, be safe. Thank you very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button and watch the video that you see on the end screen if you're into that sort of thing.